All right. Open up questions for Javonte Campbell and Sam Towns. Foster.
Out rebounded tonight, 37-29. What does it kind of mean just to come back home and then get out rebounded like that?
I mean, that's not us. We have to be more physical. We have to be more bought into what we're doing.
Yeah. And then rough shooting nights for the team from 3, 4 for 24 for 16%. How do you kind of fix that, and how does that change going forward?
Not too worried about the shooting. I trust the players that are shooting the ball. They put the work in. I think Water will find his level, so I'm not too worried about it. Everybody has an off shooting night.
And is that kind of, 21 to 10 assist differences, just those rough kind of shooting nights really reflect that in the shooting?
Yeah, I mean, just you make some shots, it just opens the floor up a little more. Trust your guys a little more. You make shots, you're going to have more assists, more driving lanes. It'll just make basketball a little easier.
As a team, you guys had 20 turnovers. Did the fast pace of the game have anything to do about that?
We really just got to take care of the ball, slow down, make the right plays.
Just kind of talk a little bit about getting that comeback down 26 points at one point, cut it down to 11 at the end of the game. Just kind of talk about getting that comeback.
It's just not giving up. I feel like this group has done that a bunch of times at this point, showing our character. But at the same time, you just can't put yourself in that hole to where we need to be trying to come back 3 minutes left.
Just for either of you all, Utah Valley, coming into this game, held opponents to 37% from the floor. We talked a little bit about the three ball being a problem, but is there anything you all saw from their defensive end today that provided issue, or what do you assess of your all's performance out there offensively against a stout Utah Valley defensive team?
Yeah, I feel like they were good defensively, but we still had some open shots, so we knocked those down. I feel like we'll be good.
Yeah, like Tay said, I think we got the looks that we wanted, especially early on. I just think as the game progressed, if you don't make as much shots, you just don't really take those same shots if they're not going in. I think that made our offense a little stagnant. But it's a good defensive team, but I think our offense can work against anybody.
And then 2 non-conference games here before your first MAC contest against Ohio. Thoughts on your non-conference run so far and what you're looking for in these final 2 games before heading into your opening conference game?
We definitely want to get both. We still want to make a statement, just to bring that intensity into the MAC.
Yeah, I just think finishing strong is always good, and just building some confidence rolling into MAC, just to keep the cohesion with the group going, have rolling on positive vibes would be good for us.
And then Javonte, 24 points tonight, 9 for 14 from the floor offensively. Maybe a little bit on what you saw out there and what into the performance.
Just moving the ball, getting open shots, getting good looks, and just being stable with all my shots.
Great. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, obviously very disappointing result. I thought we had 3 very good days of practice, where we were really locked in as we were at any point in time in the year. And I think we thought we came in here just on our heels a little bit early and obviously not making any shots. We make 3 threes in the last couple minutes, but one 3 in the first 37 minutes is not going to cut it. And that's going to put you behind the 8 ball no matter who you play, especially a team like UVU who really packs it in and is going to force you to make shots. So, we've got to find a way to get that ball in from the perimeter. Otherwise, it's going to be, a whole bunch of packed-in defenses.
For questions.
Yeah, just starting here, opening up. It was a battle-tested group you all faced today in Utah Valley. They entered at 5-3. Played some big schools, also won their challenge. The Cancun Challenge, I should say, their non-invitational tournament. They also, had some strong defensive numbers. Thoughts on the quality of opponent today and what was another strong non-conference opponent you all faced and the performance from the team facing them as well?
Yeah, and they're a very good team. Obviously, 25 wins last year. This is our 4th top 100 net opponent. A top 80-ish type team. They're probably going to win their league type of team, and they're battle tested. So, we knew what we were getting ourselves into as we scheduled these games. We talk about games like this being equivalent to top of the MAC level games, and so that's why we're scheduling these type of teams. And they're ahead of probably 25 power conference teams in the rankings right now. So this is a very respected opponent in basketball circles. So credit to them. They are very, very good, and they've got a couple fantastic players. I thought number 2 Holcomb is just a spectacular player, probably leader to be conference player of the year in their league, and he was all of that today. So it's good to go against these teams. In the margin for error when you do is very slight, and hopefully gets us better for league play.
Yeah, the deficit ballooned there to 26, but you all did manage to cut it back to 11 before games in on a 25-10 run before the close of the contest. Did you see anything there in those final few moments that maybe pointed to the positive, or what do you make of that late push there?
Yeah, we started to make, we make 3 threes in that little stretch. We started to make some shots. We were getting, at one point, I think we had a 4-on-1 break, and we don't get a basket out of it. Another time we get a 3-on-1 break, we don't get a basket out of it. Those things are unacceptable. We've got to figure out ways to score in those advantage situations. But really, in the end, we created a few turnovers out of our press, but the reality is we just started making some baskets at the end, and that changes everything.
Being on your heels a little bit at the start, or that was the feel that coming into the game, was shooting threes a focus, or was that maybe a solution that you were trying at the time to get back on your full feet?
Well, we've been really good from 3 overall. I think top 50, 60 in our D1 games in the nation in three-point shooting, and we've got 3 guys that are really knockdown guys, and some other guys that have stepped up and made them, and for whatever reasons, 2 games now at home, including William and Mary, and we've got to figure out what it is, because these guys really work. They put a ton of time in the gym. Maybe it's too much time. I don't know. We have to figure this out, because it's twice now where shooting has cost us games, and that it's not like they're bad looks; they're wide open looks. So we got to figure out how to make some shots at home, and because we're making them on the road for sure.
You brought up that William and Mary game. In that post-game press conference, you talked about you had a great plan, but it was execution that was the problem there. I'm wondering if you agree that it was the same tonight, because it looked like you guys kept up with them. It looks like you were running with them in that first half, and then just missing shots down the road. I wonder if you agree with that.
Yeah, you can't. At the end of the day, you go 23 for 38 from 2. There's only so many 2s you can get when they're a smart team. They'll pack it in. They got good positional length, but that 4 for 24, that number has to be a minimum of 8 for 24, and you're talking about a different ball game, and that's part of the game. That's part of what this is all about, and we've got to step up and make those. And I know, like in the William and Mary game, we showed we had 19 shots where we had guys open by 4 or 5 feet and didn't make one of them, and so. I imagine when we rewatch this, it's probably very much the same. And it'd be one thing if it was a concern if we weren't making them otherwise. But the numbers show, even with the couple games that we didn't shoot great, that we've been a very good shooting team. So that's going to have to be something we find consistency, where it can't just be highs and lows.
Shackelford with 13 off the bench, one of 2 players with 10-plus points. What does it kind of mean just to have him? He started most of the season, now stepping into a bench role, just have him play like that?
Yeah, he's a good young player, and as we're kind of bringing him along, he is a sophomore. He's still learning things. He's still seeing things, and when you're a young player, you kind of playing through some mistakes, and you can't have a lot of guys kind of in that mode where they're learning, but he really cares. He's probably our hardest worker, and so you trust him that his best days are going to continue to be ahead of him.
About younger players, Makai Leach and Camden Carroll, both getting some minutes today. What does it mean to have those 2 kind of progressing, getting some time these days?
Yeah, you're trying to find some sparks. Those guys, play hard and do what they're supposed to do. But again, as young guys, sometimes they're not quite strong enough, maybe not quite disciplined to do it every single time. That's part of being a freshman, learning what it takes to play at this level. So it's good to get some mileage on those guys in a game like this.
Quick turnaround with the game tomorrow. Just kind of talk about the way you guys are going to put this game behind you to be able to play tomorrow.
Yeah, it can't look like this tomorrow. We've got to step up, make shots tomorrow. At the end of the day, we talked about if we don't make shots and you don't guard the ball, you're going to get the same result regardless of who you play. And so I would suspect that we'll be better tomorrow and have a good response.
Any more questions? Great. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you. Have a good night.